Topic three, it's my turn to fill out my bracket pick by pick. But before we do, I would like to pause and kiss the Big Ten Tournament Championship banner that hangs behind me. So please be on my time as the Big Ten Tournament champion and allow me this moment. Thank you.
Yeah, let me step away.
It's actually tradition for me to kiss this every time they do this,
When's the
which is
last
all
time
the
you
time, by the
When's the
way.
last time you had one of those?
Fun fact 100% of the times that Dusty May is my head coach, that happens. And other fun fact, not lost on me that Doug McDaniel played a part in this. Thank you, Doug. I appreciate all you did for this program. We would never be here without you, Doug. This banner is your banner, Doug McDaniel. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. All right, to my picks. Should we pick the bracket cart?
Of course.
I got Kansas State winning it all. I'm going to start in the South. Auburn beats the 16 seeds. Louisville Creighton is a really interesting matchup to me because I think everyone seems to be just like auto putting Louisville through, and Creighton's not bad. They showed some life in the Big East tournament, but matchup wise, it screams Louisville to me because Creighton's two dimensional, Ashworth Culp, and Louisville as a matchup is going to make both those dudes do things they don't like to do. Hepburn's going to be in Ashworth's shit,
Hmm.
and Culp's going to have to defend the perimeter. He can't just sit and drop against Louisville.
Yeah.
So I think it really favors Louisville in the state of Kentucky. Give me Louisville. Michigan, I will admit, no, I won't admit. This is not a homer pick because I have no issue picking Michigan to lose a game I think they're going to lose. I don't think this is the nightmare matchup everyone is saying it is for me. Like I know UC San Diego is good. That's the thing I'm upset about. They're good. It's not that it's like they do things that I think are going to kill Michigan per se. They're just good. They're one of the best mid majors, if not the best mid major in the country. They're also a team that employs 6'8" centers.
Hmm.
Like they have a good 2 point percentage defense because they play in the Big West where they see 6'7" centers. I think Vlad and Danny are going to be able to do whatever the hell they want against this defense. They're going to turn it over. Michigan is going to lose the turnover battle like 25-2 in this game. But Michigan lost the turnover battle like 19-6 against Maryland and just beat Maryland.
Hmm.
Like I don't. Michigan's gonna turn it over? No shit. They've been turning it over in their wins for 3 months. Like turning Michigan over isn't a way to beat Michigan.
Yes.
So for that reason, I have Michigan winning this game. I'm certainly not comfortable with it. I think it'll be a good game. UC San Diego is really good, but it's not the nightmare matchup everyone's trying to tell me that it is. And I have this is something I'm gonna do before Thursday, as long as I'm not in the labor and delivery room the whole time. I want to dig into the most public upset picks in like the last 10 years because everyone on earth is picking San Diego as like the pick this year. And last year that was McNeese, and McNeese lost rather comfortably.
Hmm.
So I kind of just give me like a 10-year sample size. How often does the public obvious upset pick actually result in a win? I'd like to know that.
I mean, I can even thinking on recent memory, it was either last year or 2 years ago. No, no, you know what? It was last year. It was the 8-9 matchup with New Mexico, and I forgot who they matched up with. They lost by like 30.
Yeah, there's a lot of games where I feel like the obvious play ends up being like a blowout loss in the wrong direction. So that's what I'm going with. Is it a homer pick? Maybe. But again, I have no problem telling you Michigan will lose a game I think they're going to lose. I don't think they're going to lose to UC San Diego. Texas A&M against Yale. I'm going A&M. Another trendy one. I think a lot of people are picking Yale. They will sit back and make A&M bomb threes. Like that's what Yale does. And A&M can't shoot. So there is a world that Yale wins this game, but I think A&M like Yale doesn't have Danny Wolf this year. I'm not
Mhm.
impressed with the Yale front court. I think A&M's just going to physically dominate them. Give me the Aggies. Ole Miss is my pick over the winner of San Diego State, North Carolina. I thoroughly expect it to be San Diego State, and then I thoroughly expect Ole Miss to win that game. I'm taking Iowa State over Lipscomb, although this is the 1 14 seed or lower that I thought about because Iowa State is pretty banged up. And Lipscomb does have the right archetype to be able to avoid getting devoured by the Iowa State defense. Like they are a team that will take care of the basketball and play smart offensively and run good stuff. But at the end of the day, I trust Otts and the infrastructure that's there. I'm taking Iowa State. I have New Mexico beating Marquette. Mostly because I just hate Marquette's front court so much. I think New Mexico has the better front court, and Donovan Dent can at least match Cam Jones in the backcourt. And then I have Michigan State, no doubter, blowout against Bryant in the first round. Should I just move to the round of 32, or do you have any comments?
No, I'm good with that. I hear you out on that. UC San Diego's tallest player is legit 6'8". So, if Danny Wolf does the thing he did in the second half of the Wisconsin game where he was like aggressive to the hoop, spinning, laying up, making plays, I think a lot of people's brackets could get busted by the love for UC San Diego.
The turnover stuff is legit. Like Michigan will get out turnovered by 15, but that happens all the time anyway. And I've seen them win games while doing it against teams a lot better than San Diego. I have Auburn beating Louisville, but Card, I'm not going to lie to you. I thought long and hard about an upset here because Louisville is playing a home game in Rupp Arena against Auburn, and I don't trust where this Auburn team is at. This is not the Auburn team from 2 weeks ago. This is an Auburn team that has had recent Baker Mazzara chaos and whose guards have fallen off a cliff cart. Janai Broom's been banged up and Pettiford's been stinky lately. This is a team that I think is seeing some ghosts right now. And I think they're vulnerable. Louisville's the type of team that could just make 13 threes and beat them. So I thought about it. I really did. But I also placed a live money line bet on Louisville to beat Duke last night, and I lost my entire bankroll. And I'm not going to make that mistake twice. So I have Auburn beating Louisville. I have Texas A&M beating Michigan. Once again, not afraid to tell you when my team will lose. Telling you this right now. If Michigan plays Texas A&M, they have a 0% chance of winning that game. I am way more mad about this pairing than I am the San Diego drawing the 5 seed. A&M is going to devour them. They will out-rebound us 50-14. Vlad and Danny will stand there watching. Like today, they were watching Steven Crowell and Nolan Winter go to work. It's not going to happen. That team is too elite on the boards. They're not even going to have to make shots. They'll get a point per possession just off putbacks alone. And they're too physical and too tough. There are some Michigan State toughnessy vibes to A&M that I think will get in the shit of the Michigan guards. So, again, I'm not giving up hope for a run for Michigan. It's a good season anyway because we got that. But they need Yale to beat A&M if they want any hope of going further. They can't beat A&M. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I agree. Sorry, I'm still hung up on the fact that Louisville's playing in Lexington as an 8 seed.
Crazy.
How's that pop? If I'm Auburn, I'm livid.
Right. It's crazy.
Isn't Auburn the number one overall seed?
Which is also crazy. The committee sucks. Let's
The
move on.
committee stinks.
Committee stinks. All right, I have Ole Miss beating Iowa State, as do you. I love when we're aligned on that. Iowa State too banged up, and I really like this Ole Miss team, as do you. I feel like our boy in the backcourt probably has a big shot coming, I think.
Our Rebels.
Our Rebels. And then I think Michigan State against New Mexico would be fun for like 6 minutes. And then they'll realize like one player can't beat Michigan State, and Michigan State will wear that team down immensely in the second half. Into the Sweet 16, I have Auburn beating A&M rather comfortably. This is where the A&M run goes out. I think they caught Auburn at the right time in the regular season. Revenge spot. They're just way better. Janai Broom will destroy them. And then Michigan State over Ole Miss. Will say this. This spot reminds me of Michigan State versus Jerome Tang, where like Michigan State might be a better team. That coach is kind of hot right now. Like if Chris Beard's back in a Sweet 16, that's not a dude I would want to see. If I'm you, I think I'd almost rather see Otzelberger than
I 1,000% rather see Otzelberger.
yeah. So it's a scary one. I think this could be a maybe bust your brackets type thing because Ole Miss is good. But I'm going to go Michigan State, which takes us to Auburn versus Michigan State in the Elite Eight. I told you this is the only pick that I've switched since my initial run at filling out a bracket. I switched from Auburn to Michigan State. And right now I have Michigan State in the Final Four. I may change again, but this is what it came down to for me. Two things. One was a point that you made. Michigan State's an underdog if they get to this game. And I love Michigan State as an underdog in this game. Second, I think Jace Richardson will destroy the Auburn guards. I think he is way better than any guard that Auburn has. And Tahad Pettiford is good. He's not playing well right now. Miles Kelly is good. Miles Kelly's a guy I think you can bait into some tough shots. I've talked about it before. Auburn never makes the extra pass. Michigan State always makes the extra pass. I begged for this matchup for 3 weeks right now because I swear to God, I want, as a rival fan, I want to see what happens when your seventh man decides to get chippy with some actual psychopaths with some muscle to him. I
Mhm.
want to see Trey Holloman put in his place a little bit. But Baker Mazara probably won't be available for this game, and you still have the better players. So I'm going to take Michigan State to beat Auburn.
Damn, we really were in lockstep, huh?
Like lockety lockstep, man.
I don't even know what to constitute that as good or bad. We really just got to see how it plays out.
We've never been more aligned. I think it's good. Let's go
I
to
think
another
I'm
bracket we're
leaning
incredibly
good.
aligned on.
I'm leaning
Cart,
good.
this region, I think we have literally the first 14 picks the same, so I'll be quick. I have Florida beating Norfolk. I have UConn beating Oklahoma, although I will say I really want to pick Oklahoma to beat UConn because fears will destroy them. And
Mhm.
UConn stinks. I'm not jumping off the band. UConn stinks. But I just got to give Hurley one. Out of respect, I got to give Hurley one. I have Memphis beating Colorado State. Miss me on the Mountain West bullshit. They had a nice run. That's great. Nick Clifford is really good. I'm not disrespecting him again like in the summer. But uh, Memphis has Haggerty, who's like the best shooting guard in the country, and they're an underdog in this game. The
Yeah, they are. Colorado
bet,
State opened up at 2.5.
betting odds have Memphis plus 130 on the money line to beat a 12 seed from the Mountain West card. And here's my biggest reason I love this play. Nico Medved, little spoiler alert for you. We did this with Fran McCaffrey earlier this year. Guess what? Nico's going to Minnesota. That'll
Hmm.
happen the moment this season ends. You know what is good for a coach taking over a new program? Being able to work the portal instead of being in
Yeah.
the tournament for a few days.
Yeah.
I'm all over Haggerty and Memphis in this spot. Maryland beats Grand Canyon, although they're going west here. Maryland went west and lost to Washington earlier this year. Don't forget that.
They they did.
I don't love the Crab Five going to the Canyons. I don't like it. Against Grand Canyon, I don't like that. But I'm going to take Maryland, and I think everyone's going to take Maryland. I have Drake beating Missouri, just don't like Missouri. I have Texas Tech beating Wilmington, although their injuries made me think about that for like 10 seconds. And then I was like, no, I got to respect what they're doing there. I have Arkansas beating Kansas too. And after hearing you say it out loud, I want to switch to Kansas. But for now, I'm going to stay on Arkansas. But I want everyone to know it's objectively the wrong pick to pick Arkansas. Hunter's probably going to kill them.
Yeah, but here's the good part about this is the right people have one of these teams losing next round, so you'll be fine.
Right. And then I have St. John's beating Omaha comfortably. To my round of 32, any thoughts before I get there?
No, I like where you're at.
Once again, we agree. I have Florida blowing out UConn, like you said. What'd you say, 28?
27.
I'll take 28.
Okay.
I have Maryland beating Memphis. And once again, this is the committee effing me over because I have to put a bunch of teams I don't want into the rounds I don't want to. I'm out on this team. I am not in on the Crab Five. And yet here I am putting them in the Sweet 16 because what? I'm supposed to put Memphis, Colorado State, or Grand Canyon in a Sweet 16? No, thank you. Give me Selton Miguel. I have Texas Tech over Drake, just way better. And I have St. John's over Arkansas, just way better. Into the Sweet 16, Florida destroys Maryland, destroys them by more than they beat UConn. And then I have St. John's beating a Texas Tech team that I think has sneaky injury issues that they're not telling
Mhm.
anybody about. Into the Elite Eight, where I have St. John's beating Florida rather comfortably.
Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Toughest team in this tournament is St. John's.
Mm.
Toughest team in this tournament is St. John's. Rick Pitino is that good.
They have
You
been
can
impressive as hell, I must say.
You can go through every single path. He's coached at 5 schools. In all of them, from year 1 to year 2, got way better. From year 2 to year 3, took off. He literally, I know it sounds crazy. He may genuinely be the best coach in college basketball history. He's insane. And this team embodies everything he's about. They're tough. They have great guard play. Kadari can win you a game by himself. Lewis can win you a game by himself. Their bigs don't get punked. 7 different times this year, people have told us, oh, St. John's doesn't need this one. And every single time they win the game.
Mm-hmm.
They just won the Big East. It's identical to Michigan State, except they didn't lose to Wisconsin in the semis.
Mm-hmm.
This team rocks, and I think Florida's great. I think they're going to roll UConn and Maryland, two teams I don't really trust. I think they're going to be very overconfident coming into an Elite Eight game against Rick Pitino, and Pitino's boys are just going to get up in that shit. Like when I envision Kadari Richmond versus Walter Clayton, I see Walter Clayton being too cool, and I see Kadari Richmond taking his lunch money.
Okay. I'm gonna let you make your picks, even though I don't agree. But can I ask you one question on this before we move on?
Please.
If Texas Tech didn't have the injury concerns, still picking St. John's?
I would, but I'd feel a lot worse about it.
Okay, that's all I was wondering.
But either way, I think that St. John's Texas Tech game decides the winner of this region. I don't
Gotcha.
think Florida will make the Final Four.
Oh man, you got to get on board, bro.
They're great. I don't think they're going to make the Final Four.
All
To the
right.
east, I have Duke. I have Baylor beating Mississippi State. I was surprised you picked Mississippi State. We didn't really flesh that out. Do you want to
Well,
quick?
I'm sick of Baylor.
Okay, me too.
They're pissing me off. They just piss me off all year. I pick them all year. I've been with them all year, and they've stuck it in my face all year. So I'm fine with being on the wrong side of them, but I'm just gonna stand with Riley Kugel and RJ Melendez on this one. It's me versus them.
Okay, counterpoint. Sick of Mississippi State. Last time I saw Mississippi State in the NCAA tournament, they rolled over like a good boy and got pet. Like there's nothing. There's nothing they have to offer. I'm out on Chris Jans in general, by the way. Nobody
Oh,
wants to talk about
you
that.
never brought that one to the forefront yet.
Yeah, I'm bringing that up. Out on the dude. Why does anyone believe in dude?
I don't got a good answer for you.
There shouldn't be one. There isn't one. You have to like actually care defensively to cause Baylor some issues. Mississippi State doesn't. They just fly around going for steals and blocks. They're actually very bad at everything else. I think Baylor's guards are going to eat up Hubbard. They have four different guards that are bigger than Hubbard that can frustrate him. I'm all the way in on Baylor here. Oregon over Liberty. I don't like enough about Liberty to think twice about that one. There's just not a lot there for me. Arizona over Akron, same thing. Arizona's too big, too good in the backcourt. BYU VCU. This is very similar to Michigan San Diego for me. And I know I'm going chalky, but bottom line is this. I don't think it's as nightmare of a matchup as everyone says. Like VCU is very physical. They force a bunch of turnovers. They're great defense for sure. BYU has only struggled with that against Houston.
Hmm.
There's a different level there with Houston, right? Like, did we not just see this BYU team sweep Iowa State in the last 2 weeks
Right.
in
Yeah.
Ames for one of them? Like that Iowa State is so much better and more physical than VCU is. So I just don't really buy that it's a nightmare. I don't like anyone on VCU as like a guard enough to think they can offensively carry
You
them in
don't
this
like your
game.
sweet Prince Zeb Jackson?
He's playing good. It's Zeb Jackson. No.
Oh, that's
And
really
the biggest mismatch that I don't think anyone's talking about with this, Keba Keita's going to destroy this VCU front court.
yeah, he's pretty physical. They do got a shot blocker on VCU though.
They got dudes. They got dudes. They were in a dogfight with Loyola last game. Like BYU is one of the seven best teams in the sport for a month and a half. And
Yeah.
you're telling they're going to freak out because they see the BYU havoc. I just don't buy it at
Stop
all.
calling him BYU.
I'm going to make a comp. I'm going to make a comp. It's a different VCU matchup years ago. You probably don't remember. Do you remember who Michigan played the year they went to the title game?
Oh. Oh.
Everyone, it was a darling pick because Michigan had lost to Ohio the year before, and VCU was in prime Shaka Havoc mode. And I went to the Palace of Auburn Hills and had a courtside ticket, not to humble brag. And I watched them boy.
Wow.
Tim Hardaway Jr. broke the press like it was nothing.
Hmm.
They're up 20 at half. It's Yegor. He's a 6'10" point guard lottery pick. He'll pass over the pressure, and this team's going to be totally fine. I think BYU blows them the F out cart. I think it's a run out. I have Wisconsin beating Montana. Montana can't guard at all. It's a perfect matchup for Wisconsin. I have St. Mary's beating Vanderbilt, which feels like me running from the grind, honestly,
It does.
because I should pick Vanderbilt.
You should.
You know what? I'm going to pick Vanderbilt. I just
There you
flipped.
go.
I'm not running from that. I'm picking Vanderbilt. And then I have Alabama beating Robert Morris. Any thoughts?
No, like actual real thoughts, but for the sickos that like to pick 15 versus twos, Robert Morris is probably the 15 you want to side with.
Yeah, I agree with that. Just
Oh
given the
yeah,
injury with Nelson. Yeah, I
yeah.
agree. All right, Duke Baylor, Jeremy Roach rematch. I'm taking Duke. Baylor's been way too inconsistent, and Scott Drew actually stinks in March, but nobody wants to acknowledge it. I have Arizona beating Oregon, although I thought long and hard about Shellstat here.
I know you did.
I thought long and hard about Shellstat here, but I'm going to take Arizona. I have BYU beating Wisconsin. If we actually get this BYU Wisconsin matchup, I want it known right now. It's a legacy play for me. It's a legacy play for your boy. BYU is a much better basketball team than Wisconsin. They have the size to frustrate Tanji. I think they would absolutely win that game comfortably. And then I have Alabama beating Vanderbilt into my Sweet 16. Duke beats Arizona. Caleb Love revenge game. BYU beats Alabama. Once again, a great matchup for BYU because Alabama's going to want to run. It's going to be super up tempo, and BYU is going to be so comfortable with that style of play. And BYU can actually shoot the ball. I'm telling you, Cart, people think I'm homering here. If BYU just gets through the VCU team everyone's overrating, Wisconsin and Alabama play the brand of basketball BYU wants to play. They're
Mm,
going to be super comfortable in those two matchups. Give me BYU to the Elite Eight where this run ends.
okay. If it was any other one seed, would you have got them there?
I would have BYU beating Auburn and Florida.
Yeah, they ain't beating Houston, but this is the other one seed they couldn't be up against.
This is why I would have had BYU in my Final Four if they were on the left side of the bracket, but instead, nope, got to go through Duke. It sucks, but it is what it is. To the Midwest, I have Houston comfortably. I have Gonzaga beating Georgia. Really wanted to pick Georgia here because I don't buy the Zags at all, but I don't think like an Asa Newell led team can do it by himself, and Gonzaga has the advantages everywhere else. So took the Zags after flirting with it for a little. This is where, for the first time this entire night, I'm gonna really disagree with you on back-to-back stuff here. I got McNeese beating Clemson.
Mm.
I don't understand why everyone is saying it's a horrible draw for McNeese. They are very good. They've lost one game since Christmas. They are top 70 in both offense and defense. Will Wade has not taken a job yet. He is coaching for jobs. He wants the Indiana job. He needs a run in this tournament to get the jobs that he wants, and they have players that can do it. Man, I like Shoemate. I like multiple guys on this team that kind of are trying to do what they were supposed to do last year but didn't. DJ Richards, Javon Garcia are good players, so I have McNeese beating Clemson. Clemson's run last year was special. It was also fortunate, and I don't think they've been all that good. They just got pantsed by Louisville this week, and everyone's acting like they're unbeatable. I
And
don't really see it.
okay, who's the tallest player McNeese has?
We don't need height.
Okay,
You're acting like
okay.
Shefflin's 7 feet.
No, but Victor Larkin 6'11", Chauncey Wiggins is 6'10",
Oh,
shot.
you mean Mr. Piv Vlad Golden?
Oh, how dare you!
Mr. Piv Vlad Golden doesn't concern me. Moving on to the moment in this bracket where I am going to get devoured online. I'm picking High Point to beat Purdue.
Mm,
Did you
mm.
think about this at all?
Yeah, I did, but then I saw Braden's IG post and I switched it.
What's his IG post? I haven't seen it.
Hold on. It was the caption that did it for me. One sec. Please go on while you're picking High Point, and then I'll bring it back around.
So this is where I'm at. I also love the over in this game. I think it's going to be a really entertaining, high level, offense filled game. Stuckey from Action Network gave out the over as his favorite play in this region. Um, Simply put, the High Point offense rocks. It's the 25th best offense in the sport. On Ball Up Top this week, long before we knew the draw, we prompted everybody with like, "Hey, who's the mid major to watch?" And our entire panel, for the most part, agreed High Point. Like that's the team to pick, not San Diego. I think they're awesome. They're legitimately really good. They've got a bunch of guys that used to play at the high major level. Demarion Williams played at Texas Tech. Bobby Pettiford was a 5-star that started at Kansas. Kamani Hamilton played at Mississippi State. You watch High Point. I watched them in conference tournament play. I watched them in the regular season card. They don't look like a mid-major. They play like a high major. You watch Purdue, respectfully, there are more players on the court at any given time for Purdue that look like they should be at the mid-major level than on High Point. It just is what it is. Now, Braden Smith and TKR are going to be the two best players on the floor. Absolutely no doubt about that. Purdue's going to get theirs offensively for sure because the High Point defense is not very good at all. But High Point is awesome in the areas Purdue is weak at. They are the 15th best 2-point percentage offense in the country. Purdue is still, as we speak, 350th in 2-point defense. No team with a defense that bad should ever be picked to win an NCAA tournament game against a respectable offense. It's unbelievable. And there was one other area here. Oh, High Point can beat them up on the boards too. High Point's a good rebounding team. Like they're going to get after second chances in this game. I think they're going to score a ton. So yeah, bottom line is this: do I feel good picking against my guy Braden? Absolutely not. Do I expect a Braden text if they destroy High Point? Absolutely. He should clown me if it happens. But the reality is this: I'm going to drag the PhD out of the pocket for the first time. That team quit on the game against Michigan. They didn't just lose it, Cart. They quit.
Oh,
I saw a dead team. And in the interim between that and the bracket dropping, we have all these rumors of guys looking elsewhere.
oh. But what about the IG caption?
It's a nice caption.
Knew I needed love, but I think I value the hate more.
Well, then, Braden, I'm giving you exactly what you need, my friend. If you want the hate, I am picking High Point to beat Purdue, and I want to make it extremely clear, Car. I am rooting for Purdue. I hope I'm wrong because I love Braden Smith and I will always want to see him succeed. But I think it's a nightmare matchup. Once again, how many times did I say that? 14 times. Turns out when you have the 350th best 2-point percentage defense, there's a lot of nightmare matchups.
Yeah, that
Isn't that
makes sense.
crazy?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Crazy. All right. I have Illinois beating Texas or Xavier. Both those teams stink and are as inconsistent as Illinois. I have Kentucky beating Troy. This one also pisses me off because now I have to pick one of Illinois or Kentucky to a Sweet 16. And I want to fade both of these teams. I don't believe in either of these teams. I do not trust them. And somehow one of them gets to go to a Sweet 16. It's crazy. It's a great draw for both. If you're a Kentucky or an Illinois fan, you should feel great. But there's not enough there for Troy with me to pick an upset. I have UCLA beating Utah State. I have Tennessee beating Wofford, both rather comfortably. Any thoughts before I get to the next round?
No, I'm locked in.
Houston beats Gonzaga, and I think they smoke them.
Yes, sir.
I think they smoke them. I have McNeese beating High Point, and I'll be honest with you, it's a hedge because I'm more confident that McNeese beats Clemson than I am that High Point beats Purdue.
Good
If
deal.
we actually get to this game, I like High Point. I think they're the better team, but it's a hedge. For my bracket, I'm taking McNeese. I'm taking Kentucky over Illinois simply because when I close my eyes, I envision Kentucky playing well in big games more than I envision Illinois playing well in big games.
Good deal.
And I'm picking Tennessee to beat UCLA. Sweet 16, I have Houston destroying McNeese. I have Tennessee destroying Kentucky. Houston, Tennessee. I'll take these two teams are nearly identical to me. I'll take the better one. I'll take Houston.
Good deal.
Final four.
Yes, sir.
St. John's beats Michigan State. Once again, two teams I think are identical. Like St. John's' front court a little more. I think they're identically tough, identically can't shoot, identically deep in the backcourt, identically equal from coaching perspective. They're the same team. Just St. John's, I think, has played better and has the better front court. So give me St. John's. Duke over Houston. Pissed off because I would have Houston coming out of the whole west side, whole left side of the region or bracket. This is my national championship game, Duke versus Houston. Think it'll be a classic. Think Houston will be up for it. And I really almost did pick Houston, Cart, because the thing that scares me, if we get to this point, it's kids versus men. And if Jawan Roberts is healthy, I think a lot of people will look foolish for picking kids over men. But I don't know if Jawan Roberts is healthy, so I can't get there. So I'm taking Duke, which would leave us with Duke and St. John's. And if we get that as a national championship game, I expect Duke to win by 32 points.
Hmm. Okay. I'm not mad at that. Quick plug for our good friend Evan Mia over here. I was able to do a Michigan State St. John's matchup preview if that game happened on a neutral court. You want to guess what that line would be?
Pick 'em.
Would be pick 'em.
Feels right.
Yeah, that feels about right. St. John's favored though, so chip.
Yeah, there we go. Flip it. We agreed a lot, I think, here.
I think it's good. I think it's good.
I feel good too.
I feel great.
All right, that's the end of our episode today. We're not even going to do one big thing. We have a lot to do this week, and it's a chaotic time, obviously. We'll have a lot more March content for you. Previews, recaps, all tournament long. Stay tuned for those. They should start dropping tomorrow. We'll have full episodes of the Sleepers podcast this week as well. And yeah, best time of year, everybody. Enjoy. Join the Discord if you want to play our March games. You got a couple more days to do that. Link in the description of, actually, it's not in our YouTube. Link in our Twitter bio if you want to join the Discord to play the March games. Car, thank you for being here as always, my friend.